we don't care who you wanna ship. We're gonna read your fic and we're gonna give it shipwrecked. Ooh, ooh.
Welcome to Shipwrecked, the show where we bring to life the internet's best and worst fanfiction. We are your hosts, Chris, Ryan, and Tanine, and this week we're journeying into the wild, wild west of crossovers. So we've each picked out some crossover fics to surprise each other with.
I'm pretty excited. Mine came to me in a moment of inspiration.
I typed in crossover in the search and archive of our own, and that's where I got mine. So, yep.
Mine, the pairing just came to me, and I was just, hoped and prayed, gosh, let me hope someone has written this. And it was better than I hoped.
So you looked up the pairing.
Yes.
Like instead of browsing, you had an idea, a vision, and
Yes.
you went and executed it. I had a similar sort of, I went to fanfiction.net, shameless plug. Honestly, they should pay me to advertise for them, is how I feel at this point. And then they have like the
last user, dude. I don't think they have money.
Yeah, I think you're right. What if I just applied for a job at fanfiction.net? Like, what would happen?
I mean, their only users are me and Chris, and we both use Adblock, so.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, so I went and investigated their crossover section because they have a whole thing where you put in the first thing that you want and then you put in the second thing that you want and it mixes them up. So I came up with a couple interesting pairings and I'm not sure which ones I'm going to read because I'm equally excited about all of them.
Oh, and part of the episode this week is that we're not actually saying what the crossovers are before we start. Because
shouldn't we say what they are as we start the tale?
I want to kind of find out as we go.
Okay, that's fine. I feel like some of mine need context.
No context. What the
Mine
fuck do you
don't.
think? What
Mine
kind of
really
context?
don't.
Right. Okay,
You
no
just
context.
hand out context? Disgusting.
I mean,
Alright.
if your crossover character is named like James, then maybe some context.
No,
But
no context until
No
the
context. All right.
And
who's
then
your
just at
favorite
the end-
James?
We'll
the
read the titles and the descriptions at the end then.
end. That's right. And then, or at
Okay.
the end, you can be like, FYI, James Brown, the singer.
Yeah, it
Like
was
you
James
just-
Brown the whole time.
Okay, well, I have goosebumps. I'm so excited about this. So, who wants to kick us off?
I want to go first. I'm very excited.
Do it.
I found
My
mine on
body-
Thursday, and I just said, "Hey, it's over, guys."
It's over.
Oh, that's right. Our group chat blew up on Thursday.
Yeah. Our
But
group
I mean,
chat has seen some
I
times.
sent 2 texts.
I would like to clarify that we have several group chats. We have a text group chat, we have a Google Hangouts, we have an Instagram group chat, and we have a Facebook group chat.
Okay, also the Instagram group chat, let's not hype it up too much. It's just me sending you guys
Oh, no, that's right.
posts that Balenciaga posts because fashion is just expensive shit posting.
Honestly, I would write fics about Balenciaga at this point. It's getting really ridiculous.
Those Balenciaga models are too much for me to handle as an adult.
What are they? They're just warping photos. It's like someone took the liquify tool in Photoshop.
No,
and
I just like the ones of them on the segways that look like they got caught trying to leave their grandma's house early. They have that haunted look in their eyes. They're like, I can't have another casserole, and they're just trying to zoom away. It's
yeah,
beautiful.
listening to their vaporwave bedroom pop. That's what they look like.
They're going home to listen to cigarettes after sex and tweet haikus.
I'm being roasted. Yikes. Oh,
All right, so my fic was written by Terry Lynch, and that's all the information you're getting.
Okay.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
And wait, what site did you get it off of?
Fanfiction.net. We actually had this conversation earlier, and we came to the conclusion that if you actually want to find good fan fiction, then you should probably go to AO3. But if you don't want good fan fiction, then fanfiction.net is probably where you should be.
Yeah. It's definitely... The bar is very low.
I've read some real zingers on fanfiction.net in my time.
If And,
like
you know,
you always
here's
have
another
that
one.
like that split second thing, where you have to click on next chapter, and you're like, "Am I really doing this right now?" And you find your finger clicking, and you're like, "Fuck, I have committed to this." AO3 just blasts you in the face with the whole fic, but fanfiction.net requires like consistent reassurance that you're like it's dangerous. It's like if Netflix kept asking, "Are you still watching?" after every episode that you were trying
Instead
to
of like
watch.
queuing up, yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Are you fucking sure, dude? Like,
And the answer is like no.
No, big no.
I'm not
No.
sure, but here I go.
Not sure. Here we
All
come.
right. So, just going to jump straight into this. King Bugs Bunny sat at the large round table with the rest of the Looney Tunes cohorts, as well as his basketball playing friends. There was a tension in Bugs' kingdom, as he knew they were at large risk of going extinct. The threat had been apparent to Bugs, but he ignored it for many years. Every day, the crabs were getting more intelligent. Not only that, but they were getting stronger too. Bugs knew that something had to be done, so he called together his friends. We have to bring in Shrek. They all agreed. He's our only hope.
I'm already lost.
It was a grand suggestion, but Shrek, the helpful ogre, lived very far away. It would be a tiring journey for Spencer and his accomplices. I have no idea who Spencer is, just throwing that out there.
Yikes.
Who is Spencer?
Not to mention, the team was very hard to keep under control. There was one in particular that was quite irritating, even to his own team, but they kept him around anyhow. One player was a bit quiet, but he was Bugs' favorite. The man's name was Shaquille O'Neal. While he was taller than the average man, he exhibited great traits. Yes. He exhibited great traits of meekness and kindness. He had long enough legs and was physically able enough that he knew for a fact he could reach Shrek. So, Shaq began his journey to find Shrek, the key to stopping this crab war dead in its tracks.
Crab war. I feel like I should call the CDC.
That's actually what I call Tinder dating.
Crab Wars. This week on Crab Wars.
That's the noise.
When Shrek saw Shaq, he bellowed out a roar. You're in my swamp now. Shrek got a large smile on his face, and it charged at Shaq, picked him up, and gave him a great big hug. Hello, me old boy. I haven't seen you in a while. At first, Shaq was confused, but after a few more words, he realized his familiarity with Shrek's voice, and his eyes lit up with joy. Shrek, my brother, how have you been? Shrek and Shaq were old friends, dating way back to their days in college together. When Shrek couldn't make it on the basketball team with Shaq, he had decided to move out to his swamp in isolation. Shaq and Shrek set out together on their grand journey to help Bugs stop the crab war before it could happen. When they made it, they were immediately encountered by the grand crabs. Shrek began firing his onion launcher at the crustaceans, inciting the battle. Shaq pulled out his basketballs and began bouncing them on the crab guards' heads. This just irritated them instead of inflicting damage, so Shaq backed off. Let me take it from here, yelled Shrek in a courageous voice. He pulled out his onion pistols and began firing rounds at the crabs. The crabs fled for their lives. They just couldn't handle the onion. Shaq thanked Shrek for his courageous attitude, and the two were closer than they had started off that day. Shrek was happy for his new friend. They looked at each other and embraced in a dramatic bro hug with firm pats on each other's backs. They were the saviors of Bugs' kingdom, and he awarded them with mansions of gold. I cannot accept this, laddie, said Shrek. I must return to my swamp. A single tear rolled down Shaq's cheek, and he knew it was time to say goodbye to his old friend. They shared one more bro hug before departing.
One more bro hug?
Screamed Shaq. I give you my onion launcher. Shaq was grateful, and this gift brought a smile to Shaq's face, coupled with more tears. I got something for you too, my brother, said Shaq. He pulled out a bottle of his special Gold Bond lotion and gave it to Shrek. Thanks, laddie. You and I both know this will go to good use. Shrek gave a little wink to Shaq, and they shook hands and went their separate ways, sad that they had to leave each other again, but all the more rich in spirit from the experience.
Oh,
You know what? I feel canceled.
You feel canceled?
I don't know how that. I don't know, like if I'm wording it correctly, but I feel canceled.
My heart is warm. I mean, I feel like Shrek and Shaq was the ship I've been searching for.
And that's what came to me in a dream, basically.
I'm just really upset that like Shrek didn't have onion launchers in the Shrek movies, or
I know.
Like that sounds pretty amazing.
But also, you were like, I'm gonna look up Shrek and Shaq. Like that is what you looked up.
Yeah.
What?
Because at first I thought it was gonna be like Bugs Bunny and something weird. King Bugs Bunny.
No, it wasn't.
No,
it was Shrek and Shaq. Like weird at first, but has anything ever made more sense?
No.
Shrek and Shaq get shacked up.
Oh.
I mean, the two
Check
are
yourself before you Shrek yourself, bitch.
Gotta get ship Shreked.
I'm really excited now for our Shrek episode. Tune in next week.
I'm just gonna read this one again.
No repost. No repost.
No.
Oh boy.
Well, who dares to go next?
Is it Chris's turn?
Okay, so I am torn here because there's 4 fics, but I feel like only one I could read without giving context. But I kind of want to. There's one I want to save for the end of the episode. So I'm gonna just read the first bit of this one. I think. Yeah. All right. So see if you can guess what it is. All right. I need a moment here to prepare for. My name is Serena. I have been thrown into a world where evil rules, where no one knows it, but it is still there. It is so unlike my own, yet with many similarities. In my world, 5 teenagers, including me, are the only thing standing between an evil trying to rule the universe. In this world, it is 6 against the evil and the universe. It just so happens that I am the legendary Sailor Moon. This is my story.
No.
It was a beautiful spring morning, and a few weeks ago, I had helped rid the world of the evil Pharaoh 90 and battled my fellow scouts to prove my worth as their princess. It had been so tiring, but I was still alive somehow. I was in front of Ray's temple reading her comics and laughing my head off. She came over and said, Serena, you've been reading those for the past 2 hours. What are you going to go study? The finals are coming up. Amy will kill you. I just shrugged. I don't care. These are really funny. She hit me in the head and then she stormed off with me still whining about her not caring for me. I went over and put her comics on her bed and started on my way home. I saw Amy and Lita and waved at them, and they walked over. Hey, you guys, how are you? Isn't today beautiful? I asked them. Lita waved back. Hey, Serena, how you doing? Amy looked at me. Why aren't you studying? You're going to fail the exams. Lita started to apologize for the way that Amy was yelling at me and was making a move to pull her away. I nodded at Lita and said, see you two later, I guess. When I got home, I started to look for something to read. I found the books that one of my school friends had given me for my birthday. Animorphs.
Yeah.
She said...
No.
She said it was a very good series, but I didn't think at the time that it would hold my interest. I had seen too many things, way beyond which she had said they fought, so I shrugged. Oh, well, I guess I need something to do. I picked it up and looked at the cover. It was a boy morphing into a lizard. How do they come up with these things? I wondered. Book number 1, The Invasion. Looked interesting, I guess. What I didn't know then was that this book was about to change my life. I started reading. Hey, my name's Jake. I can't tell you where I live or my last name or anything. I don't want to be mean, but this could fall into the wrong hands.
Oh,
I'm an Animorph.
It's dark.
I'm an Animorph. There are creatures from other planets called, oh man, I didn't read the Animorph series. I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeerks? Are they Yeerks?
No
Same.
clue.
What?
Yep.
Yeerks. Okay.
I don't care.
There are American creatures from other planets called Yeerks that want to take over the world. The 5 of us are the only ones who stand in their way. I started reading, and when I finished, I picked up the next. I just couldn't stop reading the series. My friend was right. It was addicting. I got to the last published book in the series, 40-something. I finished it. I was looking at the front cover, feeling a little bit strange that I had read 40-something books in 2 weeks. This was new for me. I couldn't wait for the next one to come out. I was staring at the cover, wondering what it would be like to be an Animorph. Even though I had fought creatures from other galaxies and dimensions, all of a sudden, the book started to glow. I dropped it quickly, and I was ready to transform in case any Yumas popped out of it, but a vortex formed and sucked me in.
I wish you could see my face right now. I'm just shaking my head violently.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't want to read the rest of this fic, but basically what happens is she obviously goes to the parallel dimension of the Animorphs, and she joins forces with them, and she actually does not have a romance with Jake because she's obsessed still with the Tuxedo Mask.
So a few things came to my mind as you read that. Like, one, Animorphs giant flashback. I only read like 5 of the books, but Jesus. 2, remember when books were written just in like 40 parts? And that was just commonplace?
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel that it's not a thing anymore, but anyway.
Yeah,
and
now they're all like thick.
Rest in peace,
Like,
my boy Toby.
Yeah.
Who's Toby?
He got stuck as an eagle.
Yeah,
So-
I didn't read those Animorphs books because I wasn't white enough to think that they were interesting.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'll be
Wow.
honest with you, I remember the covers. I don't think I ever read an Animorph. I feel like I failed something.
So, like, I just got a lot of flashbacks to Animorphs because I read some of them. And there was
course
like a
you did.
thing where if you stay an animal for more than an hour, you're just stuck as it forever. And in one of the books, Toby just had to be stuck as an eagle for a bit because he couldn't change. And so for the rest of the books, he was
Rip
stuck
Toby.
as an eagle. Or he might have not been. I don't know. I didn't read all 47.
I'll be honest with you. This fic is actually pretty long. Well, not like that long, but that's why I'm only reading the first part. But my favorite part is actually the description, which now that you know what the crossover is, I'll read. It says, disclaimer, how fun! Exclamation mark. Thanks for a moment. Oh yeah, this is a Sailor Moon Animorphs crossover. I changed Sailor Moon a little. She's now me. So her name when she's not Sailor Moon is Serena. Okay?
Okay, so
I don't own her.
let me... The first thing I thought when you said the name Serena, and like I
It's
hoped on a
Gossip
hope.
Girl. No, you thought Gossip
I hoped
Girl.
on a fucking hope it was Blake Lively.
I mean, that's what I'm picturing.
Like 5
here.
teenagers? Is that how many there is in that show?
I mean, basically.
So yeah, I'm just like 5 teenagers. I'm like, yes, she found it. The
No,
Animorphs
no, I
Gossip
did-
Girl crossover.
I'll be honest with you. I avoided anything Gossip Girl because I thought you were gonna Gossip Girl.
Too late.
But I
You
have-
showed me down this hole.
I have another. So Tanine, you should read yours. I have something I'm saving for the end because it's actually a well-written fic. But
I found
I know.
something like while you guys were reading, and I'm honest, like I'm reading it right now, and I'm like starting to cry because I can't like physically handle it.
is that what you're gonna read?
No,
now?
I'm saving it for next week's episode.
I thought we were fighting next week.
I can't even function right now as an adult. Okay, I'm gonna hit you guys with some of this shit.
Yo, hit me.
All right, this is it's titled like crossover character here. I'm not gonna tell you the character. You're gonna find out in a second. Some 3 crossover drabbles. So how many words? 330 words. Get ready.
Amazing.
Like, and then I have another one. I have another one, I promise. So, Spike had been watching the man for 2 hours. Tall, pale, dark, dangerous, and very alive. He'd taken an immediate dislike to him. That man could only be up to no good, wandering about Sunnydale streets at night, dressed in a black robe that would make a priest jealous, armed with a short stick that he used to dispatch another vampire earlier. Spike hoped he could get to him before Buffy. He didn't like competition. He heard someone running. Severus! The man turned around and greeted a bushy-haired brunette woman with a passionate kiss. Spike was disappointed. No dinner tonight. Okay, this next section is called
Oh my god.
Alive.
Oh my god.
Severus was on a shore bathed by a gentle sea, and the landscape exuded peace. Death promised to be better than life. Welcome to Valinor, a lilting voice said behind him. Severus turned around. A beautiful woman with long, dark hair and eyes clearer than a summer sky was standing before him. Her face was solemn, but Severus was persuaded that she was friendly. Your fate reeked of injustice so deep that the balance of the world was threatened. That's why you've been granted eternal life in the Valar's land. Severus laughed. He was alive, and the Dark Lord was not. This one's the Padawan. Potter! Harry turned around and saw a pale, faded form drifting in front of him. He rubbed his eyes with incredulity.
Oof.
What? You're a ghost? Don't be ridiculous. What are you then? I'm a mentor. Mentor? Harry asked rather stupidly. Don't think I chose this chore. The Jedi Council deemed you pure enough of heart and thought you needed to learn the way of the Force. The task of teaching you was assigned to me. Now that you know, we'll start your training ASAP. The sooner you've become a Jedi, the sooner I can go back to death.
No.
Everything about that was a bunch of no. All right.
It's beautiful.
So, Chapter 1, Trashing the Dead. This is a new fic. Sorry, guys. I've moved on. All right,
It's fine. I understand.
I'm going to read the first chapter and then kind of giving you like an idea of what happens next. Karamia, this place, it sucks the joy from my heart. A slender man in a pinstripe suit wailed dramatically as he puffed on a large cigar. I know, mon cher, but a ghoulish-looking woman tried to answer his plight, but before she could finish, the man dropped his cigar, grabbed her wrist, and started planting smoke-filled kisses up her arm, toward her neck. Oh, Tish, that's French! The man exclaimed happily between each kiss. His amorous joy was, however, halted by a perfectly manicured hand. Not now, Gomez. Later, the woman purred. Her crimson lips were a stark contrast against her chalky skin, and the man, Gomez, stared at them in a daze before the woman turned sharply. Her long black dress swept across the earth like poisonous veins as she made her way toward a house turned rubble. Grandmama sent us here. She felt something exquisitely ghastly had happened here just now, and I felt it would be perfect for our anniversary. The woman glided across the earth with her arms spread wide, the moonlight bathing her in an unflattering light. Gomez had never loved her more. His beautiful queen of the night had come up to his playroom, all abuzz with the news. She had found the perfect location for their celebration, a place of horrific events filled to the brim with spiteful magic. The best parts? The lingering magics were still fresh, by the hour, in fact. It was just a scrying accident that led Grandmama to the place. Gomez had wasted no time in writing down the runes for a transportation portal. Where his wife wanted to go, he would follow. The portal had dropped them here, in front of a ruined house glowing with malicious intent. The silver rays of the moon bathed the broken building in a foreboding light. The smell of singed corpses and despair lay cloyingly thick in the air, and Gomez thought nothing had smelled better. He quickly caught up with the enchanting woman he would one day die alongside and wrapped his strong arms around her. Oh, Tish, this is marvelous, he whispered in her ear. He bit down on the delicate cartilage, hard. She hummed, pleased with the sharp pain that assaulted her nerves. Only the best for you, my beast. She purred, the words sliding from her painted lips like venom. Gomez, she whispered. Querida, he answered breathlessly. Their eyes met, the heady feel of departed life and gloom between them, and they moved as one, a ferocious beast challenging another to combat, both of them clawing, moaning, whimpering as they fought each other for their pound of flesh. Gomez reached down and ripped a side split in the tight dress his beautiful mistress always teased him and hitched her bony leg over his arm, ready to defile her once again, surrounded by the same kind of destruction that brought the two of them together. Ah, funerals and crime scenes, always the best place to meet a partner in death. Before the two savage beasts could complete their graceful cannibalism of each other's corporeal vessels, a sharp sound pierced the fog that had blinded and deafened them to the world. It was the cry of a helpless child. The woman stopped, her nails still embedded deep into Gomez's shoulder, straight through the fabric of his suit. Do you hear, darling? She whispered. Yes, Querida, I hear. Also, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I didn't take Spanish in high school.
Yeah, basically it's Corrida.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gomez breathed against her lip. The most primal sound of despair. He clutched her tight against him, but she ripped herself free, her nails goring his shoulder muscles with such exquisite force. Come, Gomez, we have to look. She took off, her pale legs glinting in the moonlight as her dress almost fell off her running form. Gomez felt his instincts come to bear. Follow the prey. He pounced after her like a rabid wolf, preparing to take her on the floor of these fresh ruins, nails and broken glass digging into their skin.
Ooh.
Such a delight Grandmama found them in this night.
What?
Oh, sorry. Such a delight Grandmama had found them this night. Sorry. Not that she found them
I thought that Grandmama,
tugging
like,
in the ruins of the house.
I'm like, ooh.
Okay.
Yike. Yike.
She stopped so suddenly that Gomez had no choice to fall to his knees to avoid knocking her over. Debris from the wreck dug into his knees and shins. Any pain he caused her would only be intentional. Curiosity killed the cat, Morticia crooned silkily. But satisfaction brought him back. She finished victoriously at her deceptively small frame, lifted a large section of the wall off, which seemed to be the source of the horridly enchanting wailing. Gomez, who looked at his marvelous wife, this vile Valkyrie, in awe, was glad he was kneeling, for he would worship this splendor for the rest of his days and beyond. With a painful crash and the screeching of metal, the chalk-white woman tossed the offending debris clean across the house foundation. Underneath said wall, they found something that both made them smile, white teeth gleaming in the darkness. A small child, red with anger, crying its lungs out and announcing to the world how horrid life was at this very moment. Oh, Gomez, Morticia said as she folded her hands under her chin. To be free as a child, to be able to rage so well. Her eyes clouded over with fond memories of deathly pranks and sunny sisters. Gomez crawled on his knees, glass shards and wood chips tearing at his suit and skin. He wrapped his arms around his beloved legs and kissed her exposed thigh. Such rage, such passion, he agreed breathlessly as the baby's cries got louder and louder. We must take it home with us, Morticia decided, swathed in black rags and moonlight. He reeks of death and darkness. He will be in atoms. It was time to go home. With a violent cough and a fair bit of hacking, the portal spat a couple with a baby in a burlap sack out in an infested swamp. The husband landing first, face down in a puddle of toxic waste, the wife on top of him, and the baby completing the human tower. The woman clutched the frail being to her chest as he lay atop her husband, her ribs digging painfully into his back, just the way they loved it. The night had not yet reached their humble abode, such vast distances away from the lovely scene they had vacated, and the sun burned so horribly, its stinging rays forcing its brightness upon them like a perversion of the plague. Morticia did concede that she did love the smell of the swamp water evaporating. A call from the house interrupted Morticia's musings. Morticia, it was Grandmama. Was it horrible? The old scraggly hag quickly made her way to the longing couple, her shawls flapping behind her like tarred sails. Morticia gracefully rose, part of her dress fell off. The portal had been hungry. Oh, Mama, it was disastrous, just as you described. Morticia gushed, dark,
I'm sorry.
deadly, filled with despair.
No, I'm lost at that. Honestly, it's my favorite description I've heard yet of clothes being removed is the portal was hungry.
So here's my question. Do you guys know where they went?
No,
Okay.
I'm confused.
I'm pretty lost.
But I love this fic. I'll be honest with you.
Okay. So anyway, so they're like really excited. They're welcoming a new Adams. So now this is like they're all together in the ballroom, and I've skipped over to the second chapter because I just want you guys to kind of get into this.
Yeah.
Dear family, dear Adamses, we're gathered here today to welcome a new member. Her raspy voice carried through the room like nails on a chalkboard. First, we find the old, she crowed joyously. Morticia and Gomez stepped forward toward the basin. The liquid simmered and boiled, and when the matriarch of the Adams family drew nearer with the baby in her arms, the liquid began swishing as if it recognized the child, as it should. They had made it with Hemlock's blood, after all. They named the baby Hemlock.
Aww.
The proud parents smiled at all in attendance before Morticia unceremoniously dipped Locke into the basin where the liquid enveloped him fully. It simmered and boiled violently before Hemlock floated to the surface. Grandmama appeared to Gomez's right with a large roll of parchment. She dipped a clawed finger into the child's mouth and fished out a good glob of goop. She smacked down onto the parchment. The goop, now turned black, started moving, spreading out, covering the expansive roll with writing. The entire family line of one Harry James Potter was revealed. not going to surprise Harry Potter figures after she just read one.
This is impossible.
His name is Hemlock Lucifer Adams. They
Of course
changed
it
his
is.
name. Yeah.
What else would it be?
Yeah.
I don't know, Harry Potter?
Well, isn't his wand made out of? No, it's not hemlock. I think it's holly. Sorry, but still, poisonous. Jesus.
Well,
Anyway, that was my
that
fic.
was it.
That was. I am embarrassed to read the one I want to read now, but it's so good I kind of have to do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Okay, so unlike yours, this is not surprise Harry Potter. But I guess the challenge is going to be if you can figure out what the other thing is, because
Thing.
it's
I'm
what
a
the other
little upset by your
crossover
use
is.
of the word thing.
what the other fandom is.
Oh, boy.
Because so this fic is actually kind of genius. It's basically written like word for word, but like transferred over what the book is for the start of. I don't know how to explain this properly. Okay, so this person basically, they didn't like plagiarize, but they inserted from the Harry Potter universe into this other book. So it's like if you were to hold up this other book and this fic, you would see some of the lines completely paralleled, but with Harry Potter characters. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't know if you'll be able to figure it out because I'm only reading the
Scrubs.
first chapter.
It's Scrubs.
It's
It's a
Scrubs.
book. I said it's a book.
No, it's Scrubs.
It's a book.
You haven't
Stop
read
lying
the
to me.
Scrubs books?
Motherfucker.
Okay. The only hint I'll give you is it's a required reading in schools. So you guys have both probably read it, okay?
Oh no, it's Catcher in the Rye.
It's not Catcher
You're
in
all
the Rye.
phonies.
I should have. Okay.
Okay.
I'll explain what it is at the end.
No,
if you guys don't
tell
get it.
us because then we're gonna guess.
No, you guys have to guess when you figure it out. Guess.
That's
okay?
what I'm saying. Don't tell us. We gotta guess.
But at the end, if you haven't figured it out, I'll tell you.
Is it Great Expectations?
Okay, just the first part of this. Okay.
To Kill a Mockingbird.
It's
In my younger and more vulnerable years, Albus Dumbledore gave me some advice that I've been turning over in my mind.
Is it The
ever
Great
since.
Gatsby?
Fuck you!
I got it in one.
Okay.
The green light
You've
is
gotta-
Lumos.
You've gotta. So in this fic, Harry Potter is Nick Carraway.
Of course
No.
he is.
Draco Malfoy is Jay Gatsby.
Of course.
No.
Hermione is Daisy Buchanan.
No.
Ron is Tom Buchanan.
No.
Ginny is Jordan Baker, and Lavender Brown is Myrtle.
No. All of these are incorrect.
No. It's actually kind of great because it turns out that like Harry's. Anyway, I'm gonna read you the first chapter. You tell me what you think.
Okay.
It's only like 1,000 words, so. All right. In my younger and more vulnerable years, Albus Dumbledore gave me some advice that I've been turning over in my mind ever since. Differences of habit and language are nothing at all if our aims are identical and our hearts are open. His electric blue eyes had pierced mine with such intensity that I turned away. That was back at Hogwarts. I mulled over these words ever since, striving to foster an ability for trustful tolerance within myself. I think I did a pretty good job. I wished for the days of the Wizarding World to do the same. After the demise of Voldemort, everyone had much to be thankful for. I expected wizards to cooperate with one another, free from the constraints of the Dark Days, but I was disappointed. For the liberated magical folk allowed their it's just big words. It's like the Great Gatsby. All the words are big. Fuck. It allowed their inquisious. What the fuck is an inquisious? Do you guys know?
I'm gonna look it up right now for you, but
I mean, I'm guessing.
Oh,
it's
inequities? Iniquitous? Here, wait.
It's not inequities though. I know that word.
I was gonna say, did you really
Inquis-
read inequities as inquisious?
Iniquitous.
No, it's inquisious. It's INIQUITOUS.
It's iniquitous.
Ini-
I
I like the
Iniquitous.
favorite part of this is I can hear the bot saying iniquitous.
I'm playing it into my microphone so that someone is backing me up.
Iniquitous.
And it's the fucking dictionary app, dude.
Iniquitous.
All right. Well, I'm both embarrassed and liberated now. Their iniquitous self-interest to drive them. Only one man was exempt from my disgust. Malfoy. Yes, Malfoy, my childhood rival, the pureblood Slytherin graduate whom I once abhorred. Back at Hogwarts, if someone had asked me if I might ever respect Malfoy, I would have laughed with derision. However, when I reacquainted with him in our adult years, I was struck with a newfound admiration for him. Apparently, I'm Australian now. I don't really know what to tell you.
That's what real acolytes made of.
It was not his high-ranking position in the Ministry of Magic that impressed me, but his possession of the quality that Dumbledore so values: love. 7 years after my graduation from Hogwarts, I completed my Auror training. Though proud to be a certified Auror, I regretted the loss of my dormitory at Diagon School for Aurors. I bid farewell to the magically enhanced softness of my four-poster bed, the cheerful chatter of my roommate, Justin Finch Fletchley.
Of course.
That summer, I rented a seaside cottage on a small island. I'd been inspired to do so by Bill and Fleur Weasley's shell cottage, where I'd enjoyed a week-long, I also can't pronounce this word, sojourn?
Yeah.
Sojourned.
Sojourn.
It's sojourned.
Sojourn.
I think the fun part is whether or not I leave these in the final edit.
I don't care at this point. Whatever. But my cottage differed from Shell Cottage in that it was dwarfed by a neighboring mansion. To my annoyance, Malfoy Manor loomed over my dwelling. I had not spoken with Malfoy since the last battle against Voldemort, and I had rather hoped not to ever do so again.
Mm-hmm.
An attraction my new location was its proximity to Ron and Hermione Weasley, my best friends. They lived right across the bay from me, their house visible on the opposite shore. I was about to say Hermione's.
Hermione!
Okay, straight up though,
Yo!
who thought her name was Hermione before they clarified that it was Hermione?
I just didn't bother trying to pronounce. So I don't know if you guys.
Well, you had the audiobooks.
I feel like
Oh, that's
I
true.
had it first read to me by a teacher, so I knew it was Hermione.
It had it first read to me by a teacher, but the teacher called her
Hermione.
Hermione.
So I feel like both of you already know this, but for everyone else, I remember I read that J.K. Rowling's in book 4 had that whole scene
With Victor Crumb.
Yeah, to
Victor Crumb.
clarify.
so people know how to pronounce Hermione's name.
100% that was the scene in which I figured out that it was not, in fact, Hermione.
Hermione.
It was Hermione. Yikes. All right.
But also shout out for that insight, JK.
Yeah, good job. Hermione's income as an arithmetic researcher had increased the couple's income so that Ron could afford a less dilapidated house than the Burrow.
Yeah,
One
what
day.
was that all about? By the way, can we take a real quick aside? What was it? What? They have magic. Fix the house. I don't
I know.
understand.
They
just
could,
don't understand
expand the
how
house.
They can be poor. How does
I
it?
don't
How does
know.
the wizarding economy even work? What does he get
Yeah.
paid? Is it a single income household? What's going on?
I agree. 100% the wizard economy everyone should be rich. Like, if you're a wizard, automatically, you've got a leg up on, the general pop.
Obviously this is taking a large tangent off into the abyss, but I remember I read something once about that's how all my good stories go.
You don't even need to announce it. Just go for it, bro.
Yeah. Just about how dark the education in the wizarding world is, actually.
Oh yeah, totally.
About real things that aren't magic. Just because
There is no education. Hey, can you guys riddle me this, motherfuckers? Where do they learn how to read and write? Who's teaching these students?
No, it's real.
Where are they learning?
I'm pretty sure Ron doesn't know how to read. Doesn't he just copy all of Hermione's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
But
like
how
they
does
rely on the fucking muggle
I
born.
don't know if he even has that kind of hand-eye coordination possible to write because he never did any
I
of
think
it.
he has hand-eye coordination because he was the keeper of the Quidditch team.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
I mean the muscle memory and the motor skills to write, to like copy.
I don't
parchment.
honestly. It's never explained if there's like elementary school for wizards.
Yeah, because okay, so then someone was trying to argue with me. They're like, no, they send them to normal Muggle school before.
No,
No,
they
they
definitely
don't.
don't
Like,
because
the
they
fuck they don't,
freaked
because
out.
otherwise they would
No.
know what a rubber duck is, motherfucker.
Exactly.
They definitely
Are you
don't.
kidding? Okay, so like, where do they
Ron-
learn how to
Ron's
do
like,
math?
Oh my
Is it-
god! I don't think Ron can do math.
That's the thing. Like, most wizards probably can't do fucking basic math
No, they
and
have
English.
to do math. How potions is fractions.
Okay, but you
Yeah.
can learn that in a class.
I don't know. I'm confused. I feel like we should start tweeting at J.K. Rowling and just be like, how do the wizards learn math? What is
Where do they
the
learn how to read and write?
primary schooling program?
No, it's really
So,
dark.
wait, that's my question. Yeah, so if you're a pureblood wizard living hidden away in a wizarding community, I would assume it was then homeschooled. But then if you're a Muggle-born person who is, they're like,
Went
"Whoop,
to real
you know,
school.
fingers
But then think
crossed,
about it.
it skipped a generation.
Hermione's like brilliant, and she probably never is going to learn how to do like algebra.
She probably
Yeah.
already knows how to do algebra, dude.
Yeah,
No,
barely.
she came when she was 11.
I
She
know.
came when she was 11.
I know, but if that means that would be, so you're at
She's
least
never
like,
going to learn calculus.
no, we learned algebra in like 4th or 5th grade.
Okay, you're right.
We were
but
like
she's
9
still,
or 10 years old.
Okay, so she was 11 when she came to Hogwarts. Think of how she probably doesn't know how to write a 5-paragraph essay yet.
She
Yo.
definitely does.
No, I
You
mean,
learned that shit in the 5th grade.
okay,
Okay.
I did, but like, do you know how many people I tutored who were like
Oh,
in
yeah.
7th, 8th, 9th, 12th college who can't write a 5-paragraph essay and like
but you know
never
what?
learned
Using
how?
Hermione as an example may not be the best one then, because
Okay,
Sure,
she's
he's an
clearly
example.
the smartest.
Okay, well,
so
I
I
can
would
say
say
with
Draco
confidence-
Malfoy. I would say Draco Malfoy might not be able to because he believes that that's stupid stuff.
But think of this, Hermione could have been in AP classes. She probably doesn't know bio or calc. She probably doesn't know like stats. She probably
None of
learned.
this shit. Yeah, that's my
She
question.
never learned.
You know,
Okay, so
you're
actually,
wrong.
guys,
What's
I got the
frustrating
grand, I got the grand tie back to the Great Gatsby fic. With this great lack of education, it makes sense that Ron, i.e., the Great
Tom
Gatsby
Buchanan.
character,
Tom Buchanan.
Tom Buchanan, believes in eugenics.
Oh yeah, so we're gonna get into something kind of like
Exactly,
in this fic-
because they're not
So-
educated, so of course he thinks eugenics is a thing.
Okay, so I'm gonna read the rest of this just because I feel like it's important. Good, it was a good
Way
time
to
back.
fucking derail our derailment, Ryan.
Yeah, come on.
This was the most passionate
dare
we've
you.
ever been on a.
It is honestly. This is now my favorite episode because we had like a debate about
This was
like
the most passionate
education.
we've ever been about anything. Ryan comes
Okay.
in, pushes his fucking glasses up from the middle, and it goes.
Ryan's like, I'm sorry. If it's not about Ivy Dickens and her treatment in Gossip Girl, it's not worth it. Okay.
Okay, back to Great Gatsby. I'm not
Okay.
mad at you anymore, Ryan. I love you. Thank you.
One day, and I'm sorry, this is like a weird. I honestly can't control what is coming out of my mouth right
Same.
now. What? Oh man. Okay. One day, the Weasleys invited me for dinner. I apparated to Ron and Hermione's front yard. Ron met me at the doorway. Since his Hogwarts years, his gangly figure had broadened out and his red hair had become to bald. So, isn't Tom Buchanan also like red-haired in the books?
I thought he was blonde and
He's
douchey.
blonde. He's
Maybe.
very eugenics.
Oh well. Okay.
Very eugenics.
Very, very
Hey,
Hitler youth.
Oh, yeah.
Hey mate, he called. Come on in. I followed him into the dining room where Hermione and Ginny were seated. I waved to Hermione, then nodded awkwardly at Ginny. We had barely interacted since we dated in 6th year. Ginny's cheeks went slightly pink, an echo of the scarlet blush she used to wear in my presence. Have you been, Harry? Hermione inquired. Busy, I sighed. It's hard making a living as an Auror. I imagine, Hermione mused. Everyone would want a glamorous job like that, but you'll find a position. How could the chosen one not? Hope you're right, I said doubtfully. Harry, you must see our little Rosie, Hermione explained. I was about to reply when Ron said loudly, I'm going out. Go pick up dinner. Ginny and I nodded. Don't dawdle, said Ginny. I'm really hungry. Hermione lapsed into silence, gazed far off. I doubted that anything I said would reach her. So I turned to Ginny, unsure of what to say. To my relief, she initiated the conversation. I hear you moved, she murmured shyly. Right next to Malfoy Manor, right? Have you two fought yet? Hermione jerked out of her trance. Malfoy? What Malfoy?
Oh.
I'm so into this! Hermione Daisy. Draco Malfoy. I can't stop myself.
It's bad.
I opened my mouth to say, obviously Draco, but when Ron sauntered in, he was carrying a box of takeout pizza from the local Muggle store.
Wait, so
It is-
are they like still wizards in this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's
weird.
just it's the plot of The Great Gatsby, but with the wizard characters.
So it's like Harry Potter afterwards, but
But
Yeah.
when they're running over Myrtle, are they running her over with the Weasleys' enchanted
I don't
car?
actually know
or-
that,
Yeah,
but I
spoilers.
hope because I hope. Oh my god, I hope. Dinner's ready, he announced. Dig in. We all complied, and discussion of Malfoy was suspended. As we ate, we talked about news from the Ministry of Magic, because Ron worked in the Department of Magical Games and Sports. Tomato sauce dribbled from Ron's mouth, reminding me disturbingly of blood. Harry, you've got no idea how hard the paperwork is, he grumbled. Not my thing. That's because you're stupid, Hermione snapped. I find that sort of work effortless. Shut up, Ron retorted, breathing heavily. If you keep acting like such a perfect Miss Goody Two-Shoes, no one will like you. Just then, an owl began to arrive at the window. It began to tap at the glass with its beak incessantly. A letter dangled from its talons. In the corner of the envelope, I read the words, "From Lavender Brown." Pidgewiggin Jr., Ron groaned. What a troublemaker. He ran through the door to meet his owl. Hermione chased him out. Something wrong? I asked Ginny. She nodded. Hermione thinks that Ron has a girlfriend in Diagon Alley, she told me in a confidential whisper. I don't know whether it's true, but I hope it doesn't ruin their relationship. But they used to get along so well, I protested. I mean, they fought at Hogwarts too, but that was all pretense. Like, they really loved each other. Ginny shrugged.
same.
They just loved each other. Loved it.
Very passionate.
You know how your auntie loves those scones? They loved
They just
it.
loved it. They really
Loved
loved each other. Ginny shrugged. People change, she murmured. I glanced at her. Was Ginny hinting that she had changed? That she no longer loved me? There was no need there, I already knew.
You sound,
Ron and Hermione.
you sound like one of those women that say Budapest. We're terribly off schedule. I must go to Budapest next
Budapest!
schedule. That's what you sound like right now.
I hope so, honestly. Ron and Hermione trudged back in. I think Pidgewiggin Jr. broke his neck against the window, Hermione remarked in a falsely cheerful voice. Ron scowled. Don't act happy about my owl's pain. The four of us resumed dinner as though nothing were amiss. Later that evening, Hermione and I strolled through the Weasleys' gardens. Little lamps lit a winding path between overgrown flower bushes. A gnome darted away from my foot. Beautiful place, I commented. Hermione laughed, though her brown eyes were hard. Harry, we haven't talked much since you went to Auror School, she said. It's too bad, I agreed. The three of us should hang out more, like we did in old times. Hermione turned away from me, gazing out at the distant seashore. Ron's busy, she said shortly. I'm sure he'd rather spend time with others. I laid a hand on her shoulder awkwardly and then cleared my throat. Hermione, I've known you two for 15 years, and from what I saw, Ron loves you. A ton! Hermione shrugged my hand away. I must go inside. I have new runes to research. She stalked away, extinguishing the lamps with a flourish of her wand. I operated back to my own yard. Darkness had fallen. As I crossed the sidewalk toward the house, I perceived Malfoy's silhouette in the distance. He was staring across the bay, silvery green robes billowing in the ocean.
No.
should get over my childhood prejudice and talk to him, I decided. His pale, thin hand reached toward the opposite shore. His icy eyes held such potent intensity that I felt it was best not to intrude. I followed the direction of his gaze, expecting to witness some work of dark magic. But all I saw was a tiny green flame on the opposite shore. I turned back to Malfoy, but he had apparated away.
Oh my god.
So this fic is called The Great Gatsfoy.
The Great Gatsboy.
The Great Gatsfoy. The Great Gatsfoy.
You know what? That's
Okay.
what we should call our group chat, the Great Gatsboy.
Gatsfoy.
No, it's really good.
So, yeah, I have to say, I actually thought that the character placement was good.
I can honestly see just like some extremely bored senior in high school. Just thinking like, oh my god, I hate fucking English class.
Okay, but I need to send you the fan art picture that they did for this, because this needs to go on our Twitter. It's happening right now.
While you do, let me share with you this another reawakened memory that I got. So this came from one of my friends in high school when we read the book. So you know the ending, right? Where spoilers, Gatsby gets shot while he's on that pool floaty thing.
Oh yeah, my ideal way of going.
My friend's like, okay, so he's on a pool floaty, right? What if like just like the bullet pierced the floaty and his fucking dead body's just scooting around the pool? That's the air out of it.
No.
I'm like, no. So every time I mention that scene now, it's just like Gatsby dead, flying around the pool as his pool floaty leaks.
So I'm gonna be honest with you. This story was written in 2013, and that's all there is of it. There's only the first chapter.
No.
But I would honestly love to write the rest of it.
Oh
like,
my god. Yes, please.
It's just I need the Hermione Daisy
Isn't the copyright up on that now?
of The Great Gatsby. I should check.
I'm
We'll
pretty
check
sure
that
it
out.
is. No, it's really good. I feel like I have a lot of actual connections with Great Gatsby because it was the one book in high school that I actually read.
As opposed to all the other ones where you
Okay,
I-
but I'm
simply threw them
honestly
in the
upset I
trash.
didn't find a Catcher in the Rye Harry Potter crossover. I should have looked for it because now I'm
Okay,
just
but
thinking.
who would have been?
I mean, Harry, obviously Holden, but like book 5 Harry is just like everyone's a phony.
It was a
Oh yeah.
It could be Allie, and Sirius is Allie, and then basically Ginny would replace Phoebe in terms of him trying to protect her innocence from the horrors of Voldemort, aka growing up. And then Stradlater is for sure
Yes.
Malfoy, but
Right.
a lot more homoerotic tension. And then the kid that kills himself wearing Holden's sweater,
Colin
I would just
Creevy!
want it to be.
No,
it could be
Colin
Cedric.
Creevy!
Yeah, I was gonna say Colin Creevy. I was gonna say Colin
Or
Creevy.
Cedric. Either
Just
is
kills
good.
himself
Either
wearing
is good.
Harry's sweater,
Yeah.
and he's like,
Either is great.
or Cedric, you know. And then let's see. Ooh, the creeper teacher
Snape.
that touches
Or
him while he's
Filch.
sleeping.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Snape.
definitely Filch.
Oh,
Okay.
no. And then let's see the natural history
Oh my
museum
God.
that he's like super obsessed with. could
Oh my
be
god, no, and the
Diagon
ducks in the
Alley.
pond in Central Park, but it's just the lake at Hogwarts. Where
Yeah, where do the mermaids
where
go
does
when the lake freezes
Where does
over?
the giant squid go?
Yeah, where does the giant squid go? And I'm like, dipshit, goddamn. Oh, who's the prostitute?
Ooh, Rita Skeeter or
Rita Skeeter?
Madame Rosmerta from the Three Broomsticks. Or Fleur, or...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think Madame Rosmerta or Rita Skeeter.
Okay, guys, but quick powwow. We need to think of other required reading materials that should be Harry Potter characters.
Oh, we should also have an episode that's just fanfics of your required reading.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next week
I
on
want
Shipwrecked.
Tired reading fan fiction.
To Kill a Mockingbird.
Great. I would do Great Expectations,
Oh.
Harry Potter crossover,
Oh.
right? Where Hermione is being raised by the crazy
Okay, no, wait,
man
guys, I got it.
hater, and who's going to be the
You got
crazy
it?
man
What do
hater?
you got?
Crazy man hater is Filch.
You guys gonna need to help me with
but
character
gender swapped.
names. But To Kill a Mockingbird, the black guy is Castiel.
Oh, yeah.
The
Oh,
Atticus
yeah.
Finch is Billy.
No.
That's right. Bobby.
Who the fuck is Billy?
Atticus Finch is Bobby.
Bobby.
The
Yes.
two main characters are Sam and Dean.
No.
Yes!
Scout
Scout.
and Jim.
Scout.
It's
I
rough.
I don't.
No, it's
I'm
really
telling
rough.
you. I
So
seriously, it's
fun
like
fact,
Boo
that's
Radley
actually the
and
book
maybe
where I
Scout.
stopped reading high school books. It's so boring.
Because that's a
Sorry,
I kinda
guys.
wanna
that's a boring
see-
fucking
I
book,
like To
dude.
Kill a Mockingbird. I kind of
just
want to
don't
see
care.
like an Animal Farm, like Pokemon crossover.
No. So fun fact about Animal Farm, we just watched the movie and we never read the book. We just watched the movie. It was really good. Anyway, continue.
Okay.
No, I want to do a 1984 slash
Whoa.
The
Oh my
Mask.
You're really
God.
filling in on a lot
Yes.
of characters here.
Yes. Yes. I'm about this.
That's
Mm.
yeah, right. So like Cameron Diaz is the girl that wears the makeup secretly, and then the main guy is Stanley Ipkiss, aka Jim Carrey, who's like trying to fight the man, but also he has the mask full of powers.
Ooh.
I just really like Jim Carrey in The Mask, and I'm willing to imagine him in every scenario.
I mean, I'm for this. I also kind of want an Of Mice and Men supernatural crossover where Castiel is like the
Lenny.
guy.
He's
yeah.
got to be Lenny.
And Dean is.
Crowley. Who's the guy who wore Vaseline in a glove on one hand? Because I feel like that's Crowley.
What is
That's
that?
probably
Oh,
Crowley.
I didn't read Of Mice and Men. Okay, that's why I'm so
Okay.
confused.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't read To Kill. Not To Kill. No, I didn't read. What's the one you?
No,
Turn the Right.
okay, but the other thing I want is a Pride and Prejudice How I Met Your Mother crossover.
No.
Okay, I'm
That
also
is
going to be
trash.
honest with you. The two crossovers I did not read today. One called That's My Spot, which was a Big Bang Theory Hunger Games crossover.
Oh,
And-
I found a One Direction Hunger Games crossover.
Ooh, that's also good. But I think the favorite one I found that was just totally ridiculous was a Twilight and Jaws crossover.
I'm wearing my Amity Island sweater right now.
Oh my god, it's called No Boners, No Sex.
Of course it is.
So
that
basically,
title opens a lot of questions.
yeah.
Well, I think the main
it's-
thing is that it's vampires can't get boners.
No, so the idea is basically
That's a challenge.
Jaws is like an animorph, and he eats Edward so he can be with Bella, and then Bella's like, oh my god, you're the perfect man. And then they're like, at the end of the fic, she whispers to him, she held a finger against his lips, she said, no boners, no sex, just sleeping. And he nodded.
I mean,
And
that's
then
just
she
real
was-
life.
yeah. Well, come on.
Honestly,
But,
I have a lot of questions.
yeah.
Well, I think the most important thing that was said is that vampires can't get boners, because I will stand by that till the day I die.
What?
But
If they
I
drink
mean, they
enough
don't-
blood, wouldn't it go to your dick?
But
isn't that-
vampires
I
are
don't know if that's how
dead,
that works.
so their blood does not run, so they can't get boners.
No, but that's why they drink blood, is so they have running blood.
I
So vampires
I
only
thought
drink
they could
blood
just
so
fill
that
their
they get
boners with
boners.
dust.
All I
Dust?
know is that I'm pretty sure only one thing is true about vampires, and it's that they're sexy and they have boners.
Yeah.
Okay, but
all I
new-
know is
new
that
question,
when they bite
does-
you is very sexual.
Does
Yeah.
Viagra give vampires boners?
Only if they have enough blood, I think, in their system.
How does
would it
Viagra
work.
even work?
I
I don't
don't-
know.
I
It
don't
was
know.
originally for like heart stuff, and then they found out that
Yeah.
everyone
I mean,
heart
I get that,
ons,
but,
and then they were like, white men must be saved. And
right.
then
They were like,
That's
this is the
most of
most
history, first of all.
important drug we've ever come across. It gives men boners.
It's the basic human right. Holy
Boners?
shit.
Boners is the First Amendment, freedom of expression, freedom to express my boner.
I feel like for everyone's sake, we should end this episode.
Yeah, okay.
I'm
So
Christ.
this was fun. We're gonna have more crossover episodes, just so y'all know, because
Yes.
it's kind of exciting to like not know. You know, we got this whole wide world.
Just as an FYI, guys, I like to play that game regardless of the theme.
Yeah.
As we all know.
You never know when Harry Potter will strike.
I have to say that has been the best surprise Harry Potter that I've ever heard was when the baby just comes out. I was so into that fic, and I just loved the characterization of the Addams family, and then we got that little Hemlock HP child. Oh,
Yeah.
Yep.
You baited her. It was just like, oh, here's this nice little fic. You'll never see it coming. Boom, Potter.
That's
it
right.
was glorious,
It's-
and we got to put that on the Twitters.
I will always look, guys. I will always try and outdo myself, but just know that I never go out seeking surprise Harry Potter. So it's just as much as a surprise
That's
to
the
me
best
as
part.
it is to you.
Surprise Harry Potter, you know, it happens, and you got to embrace it. You got to
Absolutely.
put your arms out, just be
Mouth open.
catching that child when it's bored, you know? Some things are accidents, miracles, or something.
No one
Miracle
expects Harry,
accidents
but
and
they
miracles.
appreciate Harry
Yeah.
when it
he's
happens.
The boy who lived.
The-
The boy,
Twice.
boy-
What was that? What was the one
Twice.
we were reading last time in last week's
Oh, yeah,
episode?
the
It was like
boy
the
who
boy who
lived
lived twice.
Twice.
No, it's true.
Okay. Hey, do
Okay,
the stupid
alright.
outro.
I will. Oh, come on. All right. So thanks for tuning into this episode of Shipwrecked. If you have any comments, concerns, or better yet, fic wrecks or episode suggestions, you should tweet us at ShipwreckedCast or visit our website at shipwreckedpodcast.com. So from our OT3 to yours, so long and see you next week.